في 14 من كانون الأول وفي برنامج ريلز مورغان أجرت قناة CNN الإخبارية مقابلة مع كل من تمريض هوارد.
We promised to protect them, but now 3,400 Iranian dissidents at Camp Ashraf in Iraq are in grave danger. Last April, Iraqi soldiers attacked Ashraf, killing 36 unarmed people. Now Prime Minister Maliki of Iraq, doing Iran's bidding, plans to close Ashraf and slaughter people working for a democratic, nuclear-free Iran. President Obama, honor America's promise and stop another massacre.
It's former Homeland Security Secretary Tom Ridge and former Democratic National Committee Chairman Howard Dean.
I'm glad we're leaving Iraq because I didn't think we should have gone there in the first place. But the truth is we're leaving a mess behind. We're leaving a prime minister who's basically has participated in war crimes and is being investigated for that. We have 3,400 unarmed Iranian dissidents who the United States promised that we would keep out of harm's way, who are likely to be massacred when we leave. This is a very messy withdrawal, and I'm delighted we're leaving, but I don't think that the American people are going to be very happy when they see what we've left behind.
But one of the challenges...
Governor Ridge, so I was going to ask you specifically, Governor Ridge, about Camp Ashraf, which I know you're both concerned about. This is effectively a kind of ghettoized area in Iraq that is full of Iranians who are supporting the opposition party in Iran and are being severely mistreated. What can you tell me about that?
Well, the 3,400 men and women at Camp Ashraf, which is about 60 miles northeast of Baghdad, surrendered their means of self-protection to the United States Army in 2003 and 2004. And when I mean they surrendered their means of self-protection, they were a Democrat resistance group. They've been a thorn in the Mullah and Ahmadinejad side for a long, long time. They surrendered tanks and anti-aircraft and artillery pieces, thousands and thousands of weapons, small weapons, to defend themselves. We made, peers, the United States government promised individually, every one of them, after they were vetted, after we determined they were not terrorists, and by the way, since that time, the United Kingdom, the European Union, and a court in Washington, D.C. concluded they were not terrorists. We promised to provide for their protection, their security, and their safety. It was fine until we withdrew. Since that time, the Iraqi government, under the direction of the Prime Minister Maliki, with the strong, vocal, public support of the Iranian regime, has attacked that camp twice, have killed over 40 people, wounded hundreds, and they've set a date that they're going to close that camp at the end of this month, ironically or coincidentally, the date our last soldier is to be withdrawn, and then they're going to relocate them. And let me tell you this, I think Howard and I agree, this is a precursor to, relocation is a precursor to a human rights genocide, the likes of which we haven't seen in a long time. They will relocate them either to Iran, because a third of them are dissidents and we're already in Iranian prisons. 25% of them are women, and it's just this administration, unfortunately, for whatever reason, has chosen to ignore that plight. It's our integrity. It's our word, it's our bond, it's our credibility.
Yeah, let me just add,
to date, we ignore it.
Let me just add to that. The FBI screened all these people. The FBI counter-terrorist folks screened all these people in 2006. Not one of them is a terrorist, according to our FBI. This is outrageous what's going on. It's an outrageous behavior by the State Department, and frankly, the administration has direct responsibility for making sure that the promises were kept. We kept one promise. That is, we kept George Bush's promise to get out by the end of 2011. We need to keep the promise of the people of Ashraf. We ought not to be complicit in human rights massacres.
And Governor Dean, I mean, just to finish off here, there is a sense that the president is being not weak, but certainly not that strong with Iran, holding back a bit. We've seen the incident with the drone. We see what's happening with this camp.
Well, I think that's unfair. We don't know. You know, it's also possible that we might have had something to do with blowing up the solid fuel facility. So we don't really know what's going on behind the scenes in Iran. And I'm willing to give the president the benefit of the doubt. I'm not willing to give anybody the benefit of the doubt if 3,400 people are murdered who are unarmed, who we promised to defend, and then welched on our commitment. That I will not forgive. But I did give the president...
Let me just give you the final word, Governor Ridge, on Iran. In simple terms, how should the president deal with Iran?
Well, I mean, every time we go to the UN to try to get a sanction, they end up building a couple more centrifuges. This is the single greatest terrorist organization in the world. They support Hamas, Hezbollah. They're responsible for killing our soldiers in Iraq and Afghanistan. You need to delist. These men and women at Camp Ashraf are on our foreign terrorist organization list. The president, by picking up the phone, calling Secretary Clinton, take them off that list, go to the UN, get blue helmets to protect them, and tell Maliki, you're not closing the camp until the UN High Commissioner for Refugees has a chance to review them all. They're all protected under the Geneva Convention.
Stop you there, Governor. I think we've got the point loud and clear. Thank you both very much.
Thank you.
Governor Dean, Governor Ridge.
Thank you.
Pleasure talking to both of you.
Much.
Thank you.